What's going on, PGA DFS fans, and of course, golf betting fans as well? Thank you for tuning in to my short form video about the course and players that are going to be teeing it up this week here at the John Deere Classic. Now, I know it's just a week before we go overseas to head over to the Open Championship season. First, we're going to go to Scotland for the Scottish Open, an event that I absolutely love to cover. Now, I know this is the first year that the PGA Tour is going to be hosting it, so it makes it all the more special to me. I've been following it for quite some time. I use it as a, gear up to the Open Championship, as obviously viewing schedules go based off of overseas rather than over here for that 1 week. So I go into the zone, if you will, for 2 weeks. So before we get to that, though, I know that there's a lot of excitement coming up for the Millionaire Maker at the Open Championship coming up in 2 weeks, but there's still $200,000 being offered on DraftKings this week, some life-changing money for most. And also plenty of player props over on PrizePicks, the sponsor of this short form video. I'll tell you a little bit about them in just a bit. First, let's go ahead and dive into TPC Deere Run, the host of the John Deere Classic. It's been the host of the John Deere Classic for quite some time. A par 71, it's got 3 par 5s at it. It's measuring just about 7,600 yards. Driving accuracy ticks up over 70%, while greens in regulation come in over 71%. So pretty easy to hit the greens and the fairways here at TPC Deere Run, even with the average green size being about 3,500 square feet, which is on the smaller side. Greens in regulation does not suffer, so you can tell a pretty easy golf course overall. The hardest holes here, par 4 18th. Love when the 18th is the hardest hole on the course. It definitely means that a birdie could change the score of the event, of course, or a bogey or worse looms. We love that aspect. Par 4 9th and par 4 15th will be the only other 2 holes that likely have a total of less than 3% of the DFS scoring. What I mean by that, well, first check out the First Cut article that I put out free each and every week here at Stokastic. And what it goes into detail is how each hole is going to score. So check that out. Of course. Okay, now let's look on the easiest holes, the 3 par 5s that I mentioned. The 2nd, the 10th, and the 17th. Those are going to be the 3 easiest, followed by the par 4 14th. Now, move on to how that's going to score. I've kind of already mentioned a little bit that it is an easier golf course. So 130 was the top DFS score last year, done by Lucas Glover, the winner. The average top 10 salary came in at $7,900 or just above, while the average ownership was one of the lowest all year, coming in at 6.46% on average. Again, that is one of the lowest all year. I think what happens is when the field gets so weak like this, the variability comes up. Ownership gets very concentrated on a few players. So that's why we see it so spread out there in terms of the average ownership. Okay, what we're going to see here, it is a bent golf course, a bent blend at least. The top strokes gained that I have figured out this week is going to be the strokes gained on the approach and strokes gained putting. Now, of course, putting is variable, but the average top 10 strokes gained putting for this event last year was well over 1 stroke. And strokes gained on the approach was the closest to it, coming in at just shy of 0.9 strokes for the event, or for an average of the event, I should say. So those are going to be your 2 most important. And in terms of the approach yardage that you want your golfer to be best at, well, about 20% of the approach shots will be coming from 125 to 150 yards. All right, now let's talk about the players. I've kind of already previewed it a little bit, but there are no golfers ranked inside the top 10 here, and no golfers, one, Daniel Berger, ranked inside the top 50 here this week. He is ranked at number 26. So that leaves the board wide open in terms of who we could see play well here and win. So let's talk about Sahith Theegala first. When I pegged it at the beginning of the week, or when I was starting the research, I figured he'd be one of the top 5 in terms of odds on the board, given his start last week and given how many top 5s he's had this year. But starting off at 35 to 1, I really don't think that's bad value. I also do think that'll last. So I think I'm going to take advantage of that. Nick Hardy is coming back to Illinois, where he almost won the Korn Ferry Tour a couple of weeks ago. He's in at 45 to 1, a little shorter there. But Hayden Buckley, he is a form golfer in his rookie season. He's coming in at 151 and playing some of the best golf he's played in the last 4 or 5 months, maybe even 6 months. So let's take advantage of that. So Buckley, Hardy, and Theegala. Now, on to PrizePicks, the sponsor of this short form video, I want to tell you a bit about them. If you have not played over there, well, now is the time to do so. Use promo code AWESOME. I know it's still awesome over there for your $100 match on your first deposit. And what you're going to find over there is a player props based contest. What you do is you pick 5 athletes across multiple sports, or just golf, and whatever their prop is, and you can win up to 10x your entry fee. Also this week, I will be going over in my value and sleeper videos a couple of specific picks that I like for round one here this week in terms of the golf side of Prize Picks. So check them out. Again, there's no optimizers, there's no sharks, none of that. Just you against the prop that you pick. So we'll go over a few more specific of those this week. Coming up this week also on the Stokastic YouTube channel is our PGA DFS strategy show with Eric and Ben. And then Ben and I are going to be on for our live before lock show. So make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channels as well, the Stokastic one that you're listening to this on, and of course the Odds Shopper YouTube channel as well for all your golf betting and sports betting needs. So until next time, everybody, good luck this week, and we will see you on the other side. Cheers.